Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my kitchen. I'm really excited. I just got my new KBS 3-pound bread maker. I have the one that I purchased a few years ago that does the 1 pound, 1.5, and the 2.5 pound. But I wanted something a little larger, so I decided to do an upgrade. Let me tell you why I decided to do that. And I'm going to show you what's in this box, and then we're going to make a loaf of bread and see how it all turns out. First of all, I looked at the features, and there are 20 features to this particular bread maker. Two are programmable. One is a custom and one is a super custom. So how fun is that? That you can create your own settings for your recipe that you like to use using this bread maker. And I thought that was really important. The other thing that I thought was really important was the fact that it got good ratings. It was a 9.1. And so I realized that there's lots of choices out there, but I liked this particular one. I liked the fact that it got good ratings. I thought the price points were very good. This particular one, through Amazon, through KB, sold for $189. So I thought that was a good price point. The other thing is that this one also has the fruit dispenser. So if you like to put nuts or fruits in your breads, you don't have to remember to do it. You can just put the dispenser in and it's automatically done for you. So again, I thought that was important. I like that feature on my other one. Again, the 3-pound capacity, it's easy to use. And for those of you who like to get up in the morning, you'll still have the ability, or maybe you don't have that ability with your current bread maker, or you're looking to get your first one, you can delay the start. So you wake up in the morning to fresh baked bread. Oh my goodness, how good is that? Just makes you want to jump out of bed, turn on the coffee, and have some great homemade bread. And then the other thing that I liked too is that it is quiet. And I liked also the fact I love the design. I think they've redesigned this one slightly. I think it looks like, I haven't opened it up yet, but it looks like it's going to be easier to see the functions and where you are in the process. The other thing that I like about the KB that I have in my other one is the fact that it has the ceramic bread pan, and we'll take a look at that. It's not the Teflon, the kind that you use to ultimately eat because it comes off. It is a metal. I liked also my original. This is my third bread maker. My original one that my mother gave me many years ago was the cylindrical kind, and I wanted one that looked a little bit more like a traditional bread coming out of a bread pan, and this one, as the KBs, have that feature. So let's take a look and see what is in the box. So if you're into pink, well, guess what? You got a pink, what do I want to, oven mitt, okay? It does come with books, and I highly recommend that you take a look at these. It comes, and there's been some discussion on social media about there are recipes, there are not recipes. There are recipes here. There's just not, it's not a plethora, but you can pick up recipe books designed specifically for the KBS. And I played with a couple of recipes with my previous one that were not from KBS. I found that some of them turned out well, some of them did not. But when I stuck to the ones that were designed for the KBS, I found that they really were better. And I had more success and better bread. So here's what you're going to get is you're going to get a quick start guide, and you're going to get a recipe book. And it's going to tell you, just like all the others, the order that you need to put it in. And yay for us. For those of you who do grams, God bless you. I'm a cup and a tablespoon person, so those measurements are in here too. And of course, don't we always love pictures? So there is a small recipe book. It's not huge, but you can pick other ones up. And then this is your quick start guide. So if you're new to a bread maker, then this will be something that you're going to want to take a look at. And again, I recommend that you take the time to read the books and to go over them and become familiar with the bread maker, not only by using it, but by the instructions, because I think that I found with my other one that they were quite good. And then, of course, this is the instruction booklet, the manual that tells you all about it. One of the things that they have in their manual that I found very useful with my other one is that it has a time breakdown. So it'll tell you that if you're doing sourdough. Remember I said it had 20 features? So you can do a soft white bread, you can do a French bread, you can do sourdough, you can do whole wheat, you can do gluten-free. Oh my goodness, you can do cake, you can do jam, you can do yogurt, and the list goes on. But what I liked about it is that it gave me a breakdown so that I knew how long each of the fermentations, the kneading, the stirring, how long all of that was. So if I needed to, if I was planning something or I wanted to make sure I was around, usually I want to be around when it's done. And so if I had to run to the store, I could say, okay, I know that baking is an hour. So when I get to that point, I know that I want to be closer to home. That's just my personal preference. The other thing is that you can pause it. So we'll talk a little bit about that. You can pause it because sometimes I found that I just wanted it to rise a little. When I poked it, it didn't quite do what it should do, and it needed a little bit more time. So I could pause it. So I thought that was great. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. And oh my goodness. Okay. Don't you love the styrofoam? And I'm okay, guys. I'm going to put this on the ground so I can lift it up because it is quite large. Here we go. Okay. So now we don't have the box in the way, and we'll take this off. So let me show you what I was talking about the new design. So let me get this off. Well, it's not cooperating, is it? And okay, there we go. But take a look. And this is what I said that I saw about the new design is that, let me get rid of all this. Okay, here we are. That it's slanted in the front. And my other one, as you can see, is flat on the top and square. So I like the fact that, and when I make my bread, I do it right there. I just pull it out, take the ceramic baking dish out, assemble, and I'll do that, assemble everything right here on my kitchen island. And then I put it back in and I let it bake over there so that I have the use of my island. So I'm just lucky that way. But anyway, I love the fact that this is right in the front. So let's take a look and see what all's inside. So I talked about the fruit dispenser. So here you go. So this will fit in here and you can put it right in so that it dispenses the fruit. Okay. And move these things out of the way. There we go. And we have cardboard, of course. And then it comes with a little measuring cup. I'm sure that you have your own measuring cups that you like to work with. But one nice thing about this one is the fact that it also comes with grams. And some of my measuring cups do have grams, some do not. So I found that this was nice and it was easy to work with. So let's take this out. And it also comes with 2 paddles, and they are metal. And so it is kind of interesting, isn't it, that this little tiny paddle can make your bread. Oh my gosh, this can make your bread. It also, so you get 2 of those. And here's the measuring cup. The only thing I would ask, KB, would you guys make it so we can read these? They're a little more difficult to read, so that would be nice. Comes with a tablespoon and a teaspoon measuring spoon. Again, I know you have your own. And it comes with a hook. Now, initially, I wasn't sure what this was for, but you know, sometimes that the paddle is a little hard to get up, so you can hook and you can pull it up using that hook. And then it comes, of course, with the ceramic baking pan that I talked about. And a tip that I read in the book, and I saw somebody posted somewhere, is to put a little bit of oil here on the little sprocket, I guess it would be called, before you put the paddle on, can make it easier to get out. The other thing that I found when I was removing the paddle, and some people like to remove the paddle before your last just as you're going into the last rise, so that it doesn't have the hole in the center. I thought that was a pretty good idea. And I found that it was much easier to do if I just held on to this so that it didn't turn around and then I was able to pull it out. So that was something. And again, I love the fact that everything is going to be really easy to see. So you've got right here on the top, and I think you can see it from my other camera, all of the different settings that you have here. This is the first time I've seen the front of it, except in the picture. And I don't know if I can, let me see if I can plug it in for you guys. Good packing, all right? And let me see if I can move it over so we can take a look at it. But remember that with the KB, if you're new to bread making, one of the things that you can do is that you can select the color that you want, a light, a medium, or a dark. You, of course, select the size of the loaf that you want to create, you want to make. And then you can select what you want to do. And as I said, there's French here, sourdough, natural sourdough, multi-grain, whole wheat, just all of these. And so, and what the other thing is, once you have selected, and when we get ready to make the bread, then I'll get a little bit closer with my camera and we'll take a look at this. But once you've selected it in the menu, is it tells you again how long it's going to be running. And then this will disappear. At least it did in my other one. Now, I don't know that this does stay on or doesn't because I haven't worked with it yet. But all you have to do is just touch something, one of the buttons, and then you just don't press stop. Okay, I would imagine. Anyway, and you're able to see where you are in the program. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my ingredients together. Look how beautiful it is. Let me see, I'll turn it to my other camera because I'm having one that's coming right down so you can see all the trash over here. All right. And again, so easy. Love, love, love that I can put it right over here with my microwave, wherever you store it. And I can bring this to the counter. I can have all my ingredients together, pop it back in, and then voila, we're ready to go. So I'll be back and let's make bread together, shall we? Okay. Okay, so I'm back and I have everything assembled and ready to go. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to mix our water. Okay. And we're going to mix our oil, which I thought was interesting. So I'm making sourdough and it wants 3 tablespoons of oil. And you could use butter if you want to. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And I'm using an olive oil. It didn't say whether you had to use a vegetable oil or an olive oil. And I'm thinking maybe olive oil will give it a little bit of an interesting taste. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the salt in. And it wants 1 teaspoon of salt. So I believe this is my teaspoon. So we'll go ahead and we'll mix in the teaspoon of salt. Okay. And then it wants 4 tablespoons of sugar. So I thought that was kind of fun too. So here we go. And we're going to do 4 tablespoons. So we've got, here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. All righty. All right. Then after that, we're going to add our bread flour. And I did weigh it. For those of you who do lots of bread baking, you know that probably it's a good idea to have a scale of some sort. If you're new, the grams don't always translate well into our cups. So I feel much more confident about at least having some grams going. All righty, so let's go ahead and we'll add our flour in here. And I am a messy cook. I don't know about you. Oh my goodness. There's a dog. Okay. All right. And so I'm going to go ahead and add that. Okay, so I'm back. Took care of the dogs. Never fails, right? And so now what I'm going to do is we've added the bread flour, and I am going to go ahead and I'm going to add some yeast. And I do suggest that you pick up the Fleshman's yeast for bread machines. I know we all have regular yeast that if you make regular bread and don't use a bread maker, but this is what I would recommend that you use. And it's 1/3 teaspoon, which I thought was an interesting amount. So I have a 1/2 teaspoon here. So 1/3 is going to be just a little bit less. So we'll just put that in there. And let's see, we've got, and then the sourdough starter. So now this was interesting. I thought it would use a lot more in this particular recipe. It does not. But you all know that you want to do your sourdough starter the night before, at least, 12 hours before, so that it's nice and frothy. And as you can see this, I'm going to stir this, even though I don't need a whole lot.
I am going to go ahead and just kind of stir it up so that I mix all of that good sour stuff together. And go ahead and take my whisk and just put it right here so that it doesn't drip everywhere. And then it calls for, believe it or not, 1/3 of a teaspoon. So, which I thought was, that is not very much at all. So let me get over here so I don't drip, 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 drip. So it is, says 1/3 of a teaspoon. So I'm not sure about that, but I'll let you know. So we're going to follow this recipe. I kind of want to keep going, but I'm going to follow the recipe and see how this all turns out. And now we're ready to go ahead and to put it inside the bread maker. And let me move my starter here, get this out of the way so I don't knock it over and have sourdough starter absolutely everywhere. As I said, I'm not a clean cook. Some people are really clean cooks. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this inside. So let me move this a little bit closer. And it's so easy to do for those of you who haven't worked with these bread makers before. Just drop it down inside. And I'm going to put it right here and then just twist and it locks into position. Close it up. And now let's take a look. So I'm going to go ahead and press the menu button 3 times because that is the number for natural sourdough here. I am going to do it defaults to a 2-pound loaf. So I'm going to hit it again and we're going to do the 3. And then the color, I'm going to do medium, okay? Because I don't know how that's going to turn out with this bread maker, but before it's been perfect. And then voila, we're ready to go. I'm going to press start. Okay, so you're just barely going to touch it and it starts. So perhaps you can hear it. So this will be the stirring phase, and then it will rest and it will come back and start to knead. So I'll be back and I'll show you the progress as we move forward. I am going to want to keep an eye on it just in case, especially in these initial stages, just in case it actually has, believe it or not, too much liquid or not enough. If it doesn't have enough liquid, after it's thoroughly mixed and it starts to knead, then I will go ahead and add a tablespoon. I don't want to over add because as the gluten builds up, so does the moisture. I've noticed as you're mixing and you're letting it rise. So I'm going to watch this for a little bit. So it's a good idea in these initial stages just to keep an eye on it. Okay, so let's take a look. Look at how it's come together to form a ball. I did add 1 tablespoon of flour, and that seemed to really help. It was a little on the sticky side. Hello, everybody. Okay, so it's out. I've taken it out of the bread maker, and it is time to turn it over. And voila. And look how easy that just popped right out. Okay, this is hot. So now I have a very warm loaf of bread, and I will allow it to cool off before I slice it, but I'll come back and I'll show you how the bread turned out. But look at this, it's just so easy, so perfect, and this is going to be a lot of fun to work with. So anyway, I hope you have yours, or I hope you're getting yours, and I'll be back once this cools off and we will slice it and see how it looks inside. I'm sure it's going to taste great. Okay, so I wanted to show you how it came up. I have to tell you, we've already eaten some, but so I sliced it and it tastes wonderful, but take a look at that. Enough air in there so that it's going to be light and fluffy, and the taste is great. So I just am so excited about working with this new bread maker. And I did want to show, for those of you who are doing an upgrade like I did, you have the original one, which went up to 2.5 pounds in a loaf. Take a look at how much larger the ceramic bake pan is. So it is quite a bit larger, so that it accommodates that 3-pound loaf if that's something that you're interested in, as I was. But
I hope you have a wonderful time with your bread maker. I hope you already have it on order, or if you're deciding which one to buy, that this helps you. But I've just got to tell you that, and I made another loaf in between, and it was equally as good. It was more of a sweet bread, and it was equally as good. Hold on, and I will show you that one. So take a look. This one is a little bit more sweet, had more sugar in it. But again, take a look at the way that it rose. And so it's nice and light and airy. So we've got bread amok over here. And I hope you and your family will enjoy and have fun with your new bread maker. You may notice that it doesn't fill as much of the space. It's a little bit narrower, but it's just as deep. So if you're replacing one and you've got a place already for that one, this one will fit perfectly. Oh, and one thing I did want to share with you that I had forgotten about in the very beginning was it mentioned several times in the book that this particular one, and I don't remember reading that about my old one, if you were to have a power outage, that it will hold the settings for at least 15 minutes. So if you live in an area where power outages or electricity once in a while flickers and you're baking bread, you go, oh no, I'm gonna have to start all over again. This will hold the memory for 15 minutes. And I thought that was a nice enhancement or a nice feature to the bread maker. Have a great day, everybody, and enjoy